issue. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah, 10 is safe. Or you would say 10 and get it early.
Yeah, that's it.
Right. And okay, so let me think. So Amy's gonna get here in the morning. What should I do with the boxes? Because these are.
Oh, because they were ready to.
Well, like if we, I think if we just clear out the gap, because tomorrow people will be like walking through. Or walking by, so I want them to just, I want to just clear some things a bit.
No one's gonna come in.
Right.
So you put everything in this room.
That's right, so it looks like, yeah, I want them to be intrigued.
The mess might intrigue some of them.
Well, the mess might intrigue, right? They'll might be like, what's going on there?
Boxes.
Like Laura, you know what, there was this one year that Laura Provost did this, she did like the French pavilion in Venice, and it was kind of awesome. She had like glass all over the floor, and it was like really like everybody was hanging out building the set. Like there were like cigarette butts, there were like pieces of like just like this stuff too. I was like, oh my god, that's like everybody just setting up in the space. Okay, so but these boxes, we don't have to re-box, right?
No, I think we just want to get them out of sight.
Yeah, and then I can take them, I guess I would take them back to my house tomorrow, right?
Yeah, tomorrow we'll just make everything pretty and clean.
Yeah. But I know we've got to keep most of the box up so we can send it back. All right, these two projectors we're going to use. Oh my god, that changed that corner already.
It really does.
Oh my god. Okay, this could be a trash bag. Amazing. I cannot believe these little, I'm still like mesmerized every time I see the little screens. Like, I can just imagine, they're like little love letters. I mean, and what I mean, I'm like, TV on. So should I save this little box?
Box? The small rig?
Yeah.
If you want to return them, maybe. Probably.
Okay, we'll just save it and then we'll see. We'll figure it out later. I mean,
Some of this stuff might be good to keep. Like
I
this
think
arm
so.
shot.
I think so. And then I would like to maybe, I don't know, this is like amazing with this stuff up on the,
Yeah. This is trash bag.
yeah, we're just using these for now. There's a trash under the desk too, but this is great. Okay, now Minnie, I'll keep the box on here.
Yes.
And I can get rid of some of these papers, right? from the
Yeah,
projector.
that's the ones that might be something to think about.
Do we know what these guys go to?
That came with the TV.
Oh, okay, so
I haven't
I'll.
opened them yet. I don't know what they are. What if it's a mount? No, it's probably not. I'm
Oh,
pretty sure they are.
what if it's a stand?
Maybe it's just, oh, it's a little stand, so it looks like.
It might be a stand. So funny, it's such a big TV and it looks so little on the wall. Okay, shoot. La la la. I think we started out strong, but the wait for the damn projectors to come in
Yeah, that was a
was
challenge.
too much, but at least we
Tomorrow
got
we're gonna be ready to go.
bright-eyed.
And we got like, it was a question of if we could do multiple streamings and stuff.
Exactly.
Looks like we can. That's cool.
Yeah, I think we got a lot of other important stuff done.
Maybe we have one.
I think we got a lot done. I really love those little guys that I made tonight.
Yeah.
They're really cute.
Speaking of those little guys, I have a. You're talking about like the orb. Oh, those. You're talking about the ones that we installed, or the orbs that we
The
you showed?
little orbs. The little orb videos.
Yeah. I have some that I made for the trying like loop it.
Oh yeah. So you wanted me to make more of an orb one, right? So it could go between the two with sound, right?
Yeah.
You did it.
This is.
Yeah. So that would react to sound.
See, this one will react to sound. I would have to edit that in Isadora to react to sound. But it looks good.
So it would do that when sound happens.
No, well, it just does this for like the looping. But
Oh.
I was thinking of giving it like kind of like an explosion effect. But it could also do this as well. It could do this as well.
Let's try the explosion effect too, right? So it would do a little and then
Yeah.
come back in.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
That is so sculptural. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's really nice.
And then did you have time to work the wave yet?
I didn't get a chance.
Yeah. That is really cool. Now what, and can we also like have it just continuing or that's the problem, it can't quite continue.
Yeah, it could continue. The thing is that it might be like kind of like short. I'm not really sure. Well, I would have to like see it to like actually see how it would come out. But yeah, I can try and do that too instead of like the reverse.
It might be short, yeah. But what I could also play with in the Adobe Premiere is there were those other little sequences where it was like stretched better than a flat image. It does better with that input.
Yeah, and it has a good consistency in the shape. It feels like very tangible. Kind of like an issue with like a lot of software like this is that it kind of like flickers. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever seen that before?
Yeah.
It's like constantly morphing. So it doesn't really know what it's like looking at, but this one
Right.
seems to have a sense of
Yeah,
understanding.
it's clear. And then it gets that whole thing that I'm going for my paintings. Like you're literally looking in another world. It's made a globe of it. How are you, Manny?
I'm doing it. Should we go?
You're thinking about the menu of what? I'm gonna just bring this home and try it. Is that cool? Because you don't think it's gonna talk to that. Damn it! Okay.
Think about it.
I can really feel it when you get bummed out.
I can't let it go. I might try to go to Costco tomorrow morning before.
Okay. Okay. So different keyboard. Oh really? Because it's this iPad? Why is it?
There's a couple reasons. I think it has to all be in the same iCloud, so I can sign it up on iCloud.
Oh.
So that's the main reason.
But you can do that. It would?
I assume it would be like pretty complicated.
Why? I don't use this enough.
But you need to learn your password, right?
Yeah, but I have. Oh, but I need to. Oh, but I can do that.
But
Yeah.
you don't need it. You don't use it, right?
Well, I do.
It's
So,
gonna be a hassle when you have to log back in.
but after the project, right? I don't need to use it unless we're doing this project. Okay, let me just look up what my password is out of this other thing. Well, I didn't know. I'm so sorry.
No, I think it's. I was just worried it's too much of a hassle. I just think we can get a.
Oh no, no! Always tell me. Always tell me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did that weird thing that it locked me out for a little bit,
Yeah.
though. So what do I have to do to get out of this?
Okay, so if you go to
Yep, this guy. Okay. Okay, so I have got to.
Can you just sleep here for a while?
Oh, jeez.
6, 5, 3. Signing in. Okay, signed in.
Things are happening.
I feel like it might.
Whoa.
Passcode used to unlock the side
Oh
post.
my god.
So, used to unlock the side post with access. Oh.
Merge with iCloud. Don't merge. Cool.
Okay.
And sort of operate the same way, like Logitech Flow and even Synergy. By Mac or iPad that's signed into your iCloud account, so that's where the security aspect sort of comes in. You have to be signed into your specific iCloud account, and it will work with multiple Macs and iPads positioned within 30 feet of each other. So if you're still wondering how is this different than Sidecar, well, Sidecar is a feature that lets you extend your Mac's display to an iPad, basically making your iPad an external monitor for your Mac. You're no longer running iPad OS on your iPad. It's now an extension of your Mac or your MacBook on your iPad. Universal control, again, lets you take your mouse and it'll drag it over to the device that's next to your Mac, like an iPad, And then all of a sudden, you're now controlling your iPad with that Mac's keyboard and mouse. It's not extending the display. You're not seeing Mac OS on your iPad. It's still iPad OS. It's a separate device being controlled from your Mac. So imagine you went out and wanted to buy a Bluetooth keyboard and mouse so that you can control your iPad. Well, instead of having to go out and buy something, you can just use the keyboard and mouse from your Mac. The beauty with this is that let's say you have an iMac, a MacBook, and an iPad, like I said before, all in a row. I demonstrate this here on this TikTok, by the way. If you haven't already, go follow us on TikTok. Then you can actually drag your mouse across all 3 devices. So again, one keyboard and mouse used for 3 different machines. Now, we are aware that there are other products or services very similar to this, but there are a few things to point out here. The first benefit of universal control is that you don't actually have to go out of your way to install and learn a third-party program. There's no setup or anything needed. You just download the beta, or when it's officially available for the public, then you just update to the next version of Mac OS and iPad OS that supports this feature, which I have not personally used, but a lot of people have been talking about in the comments section. It apparently will work the same way across Mac OS and even Windows and Linux. That's great for those who have this use case, but Apple didn't develop this feature for you to necessarily go out and use it on other platforms. They wanted you to use this if you're already heavily invested into the ecosystem, and so that you can control another Mac or another iPad. The other big difference is I believe a lot of these programs like Synergy do not work with tablets like an iPad. So you may be able to jump between Mac OS, Windows, or even Linux, but a tablet is not something that you can, requires you to actually go out and buy a Logitech keyboard and mouse that supports Logitech Flow. Then you got to install the software on all of the devices that you want to use this with, and you have to go through all the setup, and it just doesn't work with an iPad either. So I'm not entirely sure why anyone would want to go that route and spend extra money on extra hardware when you already have a keyboard and mouse available with your Mac. And this is all built into the operating systems of your Mac devices or your iPads or whatever. Those are the biggest differences between Universal Control and Sidecar, as well as some of these other third-party apps that are similar to this new Universal Control feature. To sum it up, if you want to use your iPad as an external monitor for your Mac, then you want to use Sidecar. If you want to use your iPad for iPad things, but don't feel like having to have 2 different keyboards and mice just around on your desk, you can use your Mac's keyboard and mouse to control your iPad or another Mac if you want to, with no additional software or hardware required. And if you made it this far, I hope this explanation helps you and that everyone has a better understanding of this feature and how it differs from other similar features. Of course, I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments down below. And if there are any other questions that maybe I didn't cover in this video, if you watched the whole thing and you still have more questions, please let us know in the comments down below.
Thank you to Paperlike 2.1 for sponsoring today's video, which makes writing and drawing on any iPad feel more like paper. Hi, it's Simon, and it's time for a few more tech tips to boost your efficiency. For a lot of people, choosing between a MacBook and an iPad can be tricky, but today I want to show you some great ways of using both at the same time and how to make the iPad and MacBook a productivity dream team to supercharge your workflow with some of the best tips, approaches and apps to use these devices together, or just simply get a clearer idea of which one is best for you. And of course we'll sprinkle a few thoughts from Pepper the cat in, who thinks she's the real productivity guru around here. Let's kick things off with the most obvious and quick way to start using the iPad directly with your Mac, which is Sidecar. Now this feature allows you to use your iPad as a full second display for your Mac. It's like having an extra monitor that you carry around, and with the new iPad Pro, the best quality tandem OLED monitor available. So this is a great option for portable and remote working, and I love it for remote editing, particularly on Final Cut Pro.
I think we should go.
Grading
I think
on
we're
that
good to
iPad
go.
screen is chef's kiss. To enable Sidecar, click the AirPlay icon on your Mac and select your iPad from the list. Now Sidecar is a fantastic option for expanding your workspace on the go. You don't have to buy a second monitor if you have an iPad, giving you more room to work. So you could also use this for coding, or even just having your emails open on your screen while you want to work on the other. Now I've paired my setup with these cool half-case, half-stand covers from Moft that are brilliant for a low profile but ergonomic way of doing this. So which device for me is the primary device device? To be honest, that actually depends, and that's why the next option for linking your iPad to your Mac is by far my favourite and the most useful, universal control. Now this feature allows you to use a single mouse, trackpad and keyboard across your Mac and iPad seamlessly. It's like having a magic wand that controls both devices. Then I can seamlessly do iPad OS focus work, signing contracts or searching and highlighting documents, and then jump back to my Mac for the
You got
usual admin
plugs
and
and
editing work that I
power
might want to do
adapters.
on Mac OS. So to set
I
up
might
universal
probably
control,
save.
go into your system preferences on your Mac, then displays, and
That's a
then
good
enable
point.
universal control.
Yeah.
On your iPad, you can go to settings, general.
Well, this one will give us
airplane,
options. Yeah, save the
and turn on
receipts.
your cursor and keyboard. Now, what's really nice about this feature is the ability to drag files or images between devices across both operating systems just with a flick of your wrist, eliminating that need for constant airdrops between devices. It's smoother than Pepper's fur after a grid brushing. Now, this feature is perfect for multitasking, whether you're editing a document on your Mac while referring to notes on your iPad or sketching ideas on the iPad and transferring them to your Mac. It's particularly good for annotating ideas or revision notes maybe for students, where you can take a screenshot on your iPad by swiping up from bottom left, annotate it, and then just send it to your Mac. And if you're big on social media, maybe try using your iPad next to your Mac to update Instagram directly.
I think
using
so.
computer controls. And on that note, do me a favour and drop a like below if you're finding this valuable. And come follow me on Instagram, I guess. We need to ask that. Now, what really makes the case for combining an iPad with Mac has to be being able to use the Apple Pencil. It's a super powerful tool to use on an iPad, but it's often marketed towards artists and creators, right? Use it right though, and you can unlock a few cool ways to work across both and really improve your workflow. So next, let's look at a couple of apps that work beautifully across both devices and utilize this thing. Before that though, I want to let you know I've started using today's sponsor Paperlike as my screen protector, and it's amazing. Now, if you're like me and love using your iPad, writing, drawing or taking notes, then you need to check these out if you haven't. And if you haven't heard of them, where have you been? Paperlike is like the original little screen protector that transforms your iPad into a digital notebook or canvas. And thanks to these unique nanodot technologies, you get the perfect amount of resistance when you're using your Apple Pencil, making it feel just like you're writing on some premium iPad. It really is quite impressive. I found it amazing to take neater notes. I've been more precise when I'm editing thumbnails in Pixelmator. And well, I just really love doodling on it when I'm in Zoom meetings. Now, there's millions of creators and doers around the world that swear by this stuff and make their best work using Paperlike. Plus, it maintains the clarity of your screen, so you don't have any of those annoying glares or smudges on it. And if you're worried about compatibility, don't worry. Paperlike fits all of its iPad models, so you're going to be sorted even if there's no iPad Airs and Pros. So if you want to elevate your experience on the iPad, head over to paperlike.com using my link below, and they even offer a free replacement or return within $100. So if you botch the application of it, you can get rid of it. But once you've tried it, you'll wonder why you ever did without it. So use the link in the description for the best value upgrade to your iPad you can make. Honestly, I don't know what I didn't do it simply. So let me now show you my top apps that work seamlessly across both Mac and iPad using this. Number one, Notability. It's great for note-taking and PDF annotations. It syncs across devices, so you can start your notes on iPad and finish them on Mac. Good Notes, another fantastic note-taking app, is great for handwriting recognition with its new AI feature. But if you are an Apple Pencil Pro owner, make sure you jump into that freeform Apple app for a great infinite workspace for project planning and note-taking that takes advantage of those newer Apple Pencil interfaces. It's a great serious option for group projects and student revision. Concepts. This is an interesting one I discovered recently. It's perfect for brainstorming and creating flowcharts. And how about this? I just discovered the Pencil Planner and Calendar Pro app. Not a catchy name, but it's actually wicked. It's an app that combines digital planning with handwritten.
That's not what I wanted it to do. Does it save automatically, Folahan, or should you save?